All right. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my podcast listeners. Again, this is Teacher Brian from the Philippines, and welcome to another episode of Inspiring Educators. And for this episode, we're blessed to have another educator. And since this is the Women's Month, we have a wonderful female educator from Armenia. And she'll be sharing some of her experience in teaching during this pandemic situation. And we're so excited to hear from her what's her secret in becoming an inspiring educator. So without further ado, let's all welcome from Armenia, Teacher Gayane Vardanyan. Teacher, good evening or good afternoon in your country. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. And how are you?
I'm doing great, teacher. Thanks for asking. So, teacher, to start off our episode, so me and my listeners would like to know more about you. Can you tell us something about yourself, Teacher Gayane?
Of course, it's my pleasure. So, as you have mentioned, I am Gayane from Armenia. Mm-hmm. I am an English language teacher and also a psychologist. I work in my two professions, both English language teacher and psychologist. And I have been teaching for 12 years. And I live in Armenia in the capital city, Yerevan. And I work at Leo High School number 65. And as I have mentioned, I am also a school psychologist. So we do inclusive education in our school. And I work with students with special needs. And I teach 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. I can say that I am a lifelong learner and I do my best not to miss a single conference where I can learn something, enlarge my knowledge, and share with my students. And what else? I would like also to mention that my hobby is dancing. And for 10 years, I have attended dancing club. And I danced Armenian national dances, and I do really miss those days and our concerts very much.
Wow. We're just getting started, teacher, but yourself, you are, how will I say this? You're a double degree, all right? An earner of a double degree because you are already a psychologist, a licensed psychologist, and an educator. So, teacher, I'm just curious, because you mentioned that you're also a psychologist, but which one did you finish first, the psychology or education?
Okay, so Brian, I would like to open a secret.
Oh.
At first, when I was graduating the school, I wanted to become a psychologist, but unfortunately, I could not enter that faculty because the level was very high and I did not have any private lessons. So I was trusting myself that I can achieve everything and will enter the university. But unfortunately, that year I did not enter the faculty of psychology, and a little I was disappointed. That's why I have decided that next year I'm going to change my profession. And I entered the University of Armenian State Pedagogical University and at the Faculty of English Language. And I became an English language teacher. But in our school, my principal and my teachers, they thought that I have finished psychology. And they invited me, after graduating the university, they invited me to work with them as a psychologist. Because since 2009, in our school, we started to have inclusive education. So they were looking for a professional psychologist. And they thought that I am that psychologist. But when I said that, sorry, I haven't finished the faculty of psychology, I have finished the faculty of English language, my principal suggested me to continue my education if I want, and he wanted too much to work with me. I said, okay, I will try. And when I went to the university, they said that I'm allowed to enter that faculty, and but not from the first course, second semester. So I agreed. I agreed and studied 2.5 years and finished the Faculty of Psychology. But later, as I mentioned that I'm a lifelong learner, I was not satisfied with that, and then I entered another university. I continued my education to get my MA degree, master's degree, but this time I decided to continue again English language. So now my psychology I have with bachelor's degree, and I am planning in the future to continue my education and get my master's in the United States if it is possible, if I find the chance.
Wow, that was really a very interesting and exciting journey on how
Yeah.
you turned out to be an educator and then become a psychologist, but then you pursued first again your master's degree in education. That was really interesting. And with that, teacher, right now I'm saluting you for,
Thank you.
loving the
So it means
education
that
side.
I believe in fate. That means that I was supposed to become a psychologist. It doesn't matter first time or second time studying, but in the end, I have become.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, we're just getting started, but this, our conversation is really getting interesting. Now, off to my second question, Teacher Gayane. We all knew that the whole world experienced this pandemic situation. It's not just here in the Philippines, not just there in Armenia, but within the whole world.
Yeah.
So, I would like to know, teacher, personally and as an educator, how did you cope up with this new normal, with these new changes? What are the things that you thought at first was difficult? And then what are your learnings? So, can you share it to me and to all my listeners, please?
Of course. And I can say that this pandemic situation has its good and bad sides. In Armenia, we have a special proverb, and I would like to mention this in Armenian, like "Chka charik arans barik." It is like there is no evil without good, something like that. So it means like psychologically, of course, we were not ready for this. And in our working lives, we often face challenging and uncertain situations that require careful navigation and adaptability. And the ability to adapt plays a significant role in helping teachers meet the demands of their work. So this is particularly important during this pandemic situation, that like adaptation. And for many educators, and like also me, the transition from teaching in a physical classroom to a fully virtual environment was a new experience and possessed several challenges. Like, first of all, we teachers had to choose a platform which was familiar for us and for our students.
Yes.
And then we started to be more attentive to our students' needs and to their parents' also expectations, because every day when we were doing virtual lessons, it was like a big performance in front of their parents. We were getting ready, like I was going, like now I'm going to school with makeup, with nice dresses. During pandemic situations also, I was doing my best to look perfect in front of the camera, because not only my students were watching me, but also their parents, their grandparents.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was more challenging for the teachers to be ready. And as a psychologist, I can say that I cope with this pandemic situation very easily, because I find my free time like interacting myself, doing something interesting. I motivate myself.
Wow, wonderful. That's wonderful. just to give credits to what you mentioned, teacher. What I love with your, coping up as a teacher is that you didn't let yourself down, even if you're just doing the teaching online. You still try to, look presentable. Like you mentioned, because it's not just the students that you're teaching right now. There's also their parents at the background, their grandparents looking at you. So still, as an educator, we need to look presentable. It's not only our mind that is important, right? Sometimes we need to look professional to them so that they can see that, oh, my kid, my grandchildren is in the right hand. She or he is in a very professional teacher, physically, emotionally, and maybe spiritually. And then on your psychologist mindset, I'm saying that, wow, you were definitely you mastered it, because you can adapt. You know that you need to do things that would make you busy, rather than think, oh my God, we cannot go outside. There is something that might affect us forever. But then again, that's one good thing, right? Because you had a degree in psychology, you were able to practice, master the ability to separate negativity against positivity, separate reality. All right, so that was really fantastic. All right,
yeah, I would like also to mention that I benefited from this pandemic situation. Like, I think it is important to be flexible and prepared for anything. And I have always created my own classroom lessons by using real life examples found on YouTube and other media. But during this pandemic situation, I started to think more innovative and creative way. I have made many materials, new tests, which now I am using my face-to-face classes, and it is very beneficial, I can say.
Wow, that's wonderful. You're also, like you mentioned, you become more innovative because you're combining, the teaching that you've been doing for 12 years and then the technology, the 21st century technology. So I suppose that your students are really benefiting from you. And with that, for my third and final question to you, teacher, we wanted to know, how does Teacher Gayane inspire her learners? What's your secret? Tell us how you make them think that learning, even in this pandemic situation, is still important. So can you share it to us?
Of course, Teacher Brian, I can. First of all, as a psychologist, I try to understand them. I believe in them. I encourage them too much. I make their learning fun, and I create positive, supportive relations with them. I am like their elder friend. I'm like a sister for them, and I encourage them to participate in many programs. For example, I invited some of my students to be involved in our Global Parenting Conversation Club, and they are coming with great enthusiasm and are looking forward for each Friday for that 5 p.m. in our time to be present there. And when they are given a word to represent themselves in a main room, you can't believe how much they are happy. And they always say, oh, thank you, Miss Vartanyan, for inviting us. And they get inspiration from it. Besides that, I take them to many excursions. And though now we have pandemic situation, we are not allowed to take our students out from Yerevan. But before, we were organizing school trips to the place of interest in Armenia, and really they were enjoying their time. And these excursions make my students to become more friendly. They become more like they started to take care after themselves or each other. It is very helpful method.
Wow, that was really fantastic. I could say that your students are very lucky, because just like what I also do, I let them explore what is education because I believe, teacher, that education is not just by reading books, writing assignments. Education is joining groups, showcasing your skill, show who you really are. And like you mentioned, I like that, all right? You mentioned that the Global Quarantine Club gave us this opportunity, allowed us to, put our students in this situation wherein they are the star, wherein they are someone that others are looking to. That was really fantastic. I love how you inspire your learners. And I think at their age, because you mentioned that you're acting as a big sister to them, I believe that you're also, motivating them, building them as they move towards their university life. Am I right, teacher?
Yes, you are right. And also I would like to add that besides being just only an English language teacher and psychologist, I am also head teacher for 11th graders. And my class is they are studying in the field of informatics and programming.
Wow.
I inspire them too much, really. I told them that you are a small family and you need to love each other, respect each other too much. And really, I get also back that respect and love from them and from all the students in my school, I can say.
Yeah, and as I saw your students, the Armenian students joining the Global Quarantine Club, I can see that they are very disciplined. Disciplined in a way that, they know how to answer back. They are really presentable, and if I'm not mistaken, one of them already spoke or as a representative of the breakout room. I really salute them. And who's the person behind that one? Of course, you. Thanks
Thank
to
you
your,
so much.
Thanks to your guidance to those students. So I'm seeing a good future to these kids, all because of a certain Teacher Gayane Vardanyan from Armenia. A very inspiring teacher.
Thank you so much, Brian, for having me in your podcast. I really enjoy.
And now, teacher, this is the most awaited part, all right? So before we end up this episode, what I usually do is that I give time to all my guests to invite, to say a few words to all the listeners, of course, to your Armenian students, to your Armenian co-teachers, to all the Armenians there, using your native language. All right?
Wow.
Yeah, because this is the only time that, you could express yourselves. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this is because I wanted them to feel that even if we have different language, even if we could not understand the words we're saying, but the thought, the feeling as an educator, there is always that flame within us. So right now, Teacher Gayane, I'm giving you my podcast floor to give your, few words of encouragement, maybe invite them perhaps. So go ahead, teacher.
Okay, but first of all, I would like to congratulate all women, as it is Women's Month.
Of course, happy Women's Month, teacher. All the women around the world, salute to your wonderful things you made in our lives.
Thank you. I will later translate for you what I have said in Armenian.
All right, go ahead, teacher.
Օգտվելով առիթից, քանի որ Brian-ը ինձ հրավիրել է գտնվել իր podcast-ում եւ կիսվել իմ անցած ուղին, թե ինչպես եմ դարձել ուսուցիչ, ես կցանկանայի առիթից օգտվելով շնորհավորել բոլոր կանանց մայրության եւ գեղեցկության տոնի կապակցությամբ, ինչպես նաեւ միամսյակի կապակցությամբ, եւ մաղթում եմ բոլորին քաջ առողջություն, երջանկություն, կանացի երջանկություն, ինչպես նաեւ մեր երկրին խաղաղություն։ Եվ վերջում կուզենամ իմ աշակերտներին մաղթել, որպեսզի նրանք շարունակեն սովորել անգլերեն, քանի որ անգլերենը շատ կարևոր լեզու է եւ աշխարհում ուր էլ որ գնան, նրանց հաստատ պետք կգա։ So I told my students, I encouraged my students to keep up learning English because it's a very important language and they will need it wherever they go.
Yeah, that's very right, teacher. Because sometimes if you just study a certain lesson, it would just stay here. What's important is that when you study something, you accept it. You loved it. Because it's not always our mind that is important, right? Sometimes we also need to
Yeah.
put it here. And when the two combines, this is the output. An
Yes,
inspiring
I love my
teacher like you.
students. Really, I love my students and my job very much. And sometimes when I am asked, why don't you choose your profession or your job? I say that I cannot live without school. And also, I cannot live with my school, especially because this is the school where I have studied, where my parents studied, where my sister studied. So right now, I work with my teachers. They have become my colleagues.
That's fantastic. You know, you're just giving back to the school that developed, nourished your mind. Something that, you know, they would look upon, oh, this is our product. This is our
Yeah.
product who is doing what we really wanted to have. You know, you're developing young minds. You're making a
Yes.
better future, not just for your country, but, you know, for the whole world. Because who knows, those students that you're taking care of right now, they'll go to this place, they'll be in this position in their jobs, and all their success, yeah, of course, they have their parents. But always at the back of their mind, they will say, oh, there's a teacher, Gayane, or Miss Vardanian, who inspired me.
Yes, you are right.
That's
I
really
hope.
wonderful. Of course, teacher, you will be getting that. All right. So, before again I end this, teacher, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for being guest in my podcast. It's really an honor. Okay, because you mentioned you've been in this industry for 12 years. It's just my 5th year right now. So I'm not just getting ideas, but I'm getting that inspiration as a teacher that, you know, there are other teachers who's experiencing difficulty, but still they are here in their job, not just because of what they're earning, but because of what they wanted to give to their students. Learning, love, the passion as a teacher. Thank you, teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And it's an honor for me to be present here as well.
Alright, so there you go. So we had a very wonderful conversation, dear listeners. As you've heard, we had another very passionate teacher. A teacher who took the risk. Alright? Took the risk because she got 2 degrees, but then she fell in love with teaching. Her passion ended up sharing all her knowledge. And once again, this is Teacher Brian, your host for Inspiring Educator. Join us for our upcoming episodes, alright? So, thank you, Teacher Gayane. Have a wonderful day ahead.
You too.